everyone! Today I decided to make a video to talk about the transition between studying coaching and practicing coaching. To give you a bit of background, I started studying coaching with the Coaching Academy 4 months ago, or 5 months ago now actually, and I have learned so much in 5 months. But at the beginning, it's hard to know when you are actually ready and when you know enough in order to start practicing in real life. So there is a bit of pressure around, when is the right time? When am I going to know that I'm ready to start practicing? So I decided to make a video to tell you what, in my opinion, you need to know in order to start practicing. And I've broken it down into 4 steps. So the first step I recommend you do, if you haven't already, is learn a model. So with the Coaching Academy, we learn the GROW model, which stands for GROW. So G for goal, R for reality, O for option, and W for way forward. And this model really gives you the structure you need at the beginning in order to really know where you are going with your clients. So if you have a first coaching session and your clients start talking about something, how do you keep them on track? How do you know that you're going to end up with something of value? How do you know that they're going to end up the session feeling like they have a way forward, that they know where they are going, and it's not just going to be a chat with a friend? Having a model, either it's the GROW model or another model. I don't recommend you know the model really well, and I don't recommend you know everything about it, but having just a structure at the beginning is going to help you. The second thing I recommend is learning about the art of questioning. So questioning is the backbone of coaching. If you master questioning, you have a lot more chances to be a good coach. But mastering the art of questioning is really difficult. So I don't recommend you master this before you coach. And in fact, it's impossible that you do, because it's only via practicing that you are going to master questioning. But what I recommend is at the beginning, at least do some research around, if it's not part of your course, do some research around the different types of questions you can ask, maybe have an idea of what questions you can ask in each part of your model. Obviously learn the basics around what's an open question, what's a closed question, and learn about the types of questions that are really useful in coaching. So that's the second one. The third aspect I recommend you look into is listening. And when I say listening, I don't mean listening as we do on a day-to-day basis with our friends and family. I'm talking about deep listening, and not just listening with your ears, but listening with all your senses and almost with intuition. So this is not something that I master at all. I'm totally a beginner here, but I know that being aware of the fact that I have to be a good listener before I start a session is helping me be in the right mindset. So I really recommend you do some research around listening before you start coaching. And the fourth one is something that you have probably heard if you are already studying coaching, but it's just something that when I learned it, it made a lot of sense to me, and I thought, okay, this is something that I wish I had known before, and it's the difference between coaching, mentoring, and counseling. And if you know this difference before you start practicing, at least you don't fall into the trap of giving advice or talking about the past or letting your client really talk to you about their traumas, etc. You know how to switch the conversation towards a coaching conversation. So the main difference, I can discuss them in a separate video, but briefly, mentoring would be more towards giving advice and using your own experience to help the person you are working with, when in coaching you do not give advice. You work really with questions and to pulling out something out of your client rather than giving them tools and techniques and advice. And the main difference with counseling is you would mostly talk about the past and maybe the traumas. You would help the person be better. When in coaching, you want to have someone who is already feeling pretty good, but they might feel a little bit stuck. So these are my 4 recommendations. Having a model to give you some structure, learn about the art of questioning, the importance of listening, and finally, the difference between coaching, counseling, and mentoring. And if you know all of these, I would say you have enough tools to start practicing. So my biggest recommendation is, if you know all of this and you've been studying for 2 or 3 or 4 months, believe me, you know enough. It's just about taking that next step, and it can be quite scary, but I just highly recommend you do it. Put it in your calendar for tomorrow or the day after, and I'm going to make a separate video to explain to you how my first coaching session went and give you some tips as well around this. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you later.